Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. A quick video for you guys, but a very important video because listen, we mentioned this about, I don't know, 6 months ago, but rare champions inside this game, man, Plarium, you gotta up your game. You gotta up your game when it comes to rare champions because they're adding all kinds of amazing epic champions, all kinds of amazing legendary champions, but not so much when it comes to rares or uncommon champions. As a matter of fact, there's only really 1 or 2 rare champions that were added the last year plus, maybe 2 years, that in my opinion are even worth building. Now, what's more than that is that, you know, as they add more epics and more legendaries, it's increasingly make it more difficult for me to justify you guys using your resources to upgrade rare champions beyond level 50. That's a huge kind of disclaimer to this video, or a caveat to this video. I think there's a lot of rare champions worth upgrading to level 50, but to use those extra chickens or to spend all that time and energy and resources into upgrading all the way from 5-star to 6-star, I feel like people are wasting resources needlessly on rare champions right now inside the game because epics and legendaries are just becoming more and more easy to come by inside this game. So we have to reflect the direction that Plarium is kind of moving here. They're moving us away from rares. I mean, epics are the new legendary and legendary are the new whatever, but rares are really the new uncommons in a lot of cases. Some of you might disagree, but in today's video, I'm going to go through the champions, the only champions that I would even bother taking to level 60, just my personal list here. I'm sure yours will differ, but again, an important video because I don't want to see you guys, or at least, I was going to say I don't want to see you waste your resources, but who am I to tell you what to do, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to send the message to make you at least think twice before upgrading a rare champion, because honestly, I'm starting to feel more and more like rares are just not worth it. Sure, they're easier to upgrade, but it used to be back in the day, you know, 2 years ago when I started uploading Raid Shadow Legends, there's a bunch of rare champions that are definitely worth upgrading because there wasn't that many good epics, there wasn't that many good or accessible legendaries in the game. Now with daily login rewards, ninja, and a bunch of new epic champions, secret room, doom tower, all this stuff, way more 2x events. Back in the day, you guys know, you OG players, it was like, you know, months and months between 2x events. Now it's like every other week, right? So things have changed a lot. Now this goes even for I'm on my pay to win account right now.
Oh, snap.
But it goes even for my free-to-play, because let me tell you, I pulled a lot of these rares, most of these rares, and I am not investing on my free-to-play account. There's only so many resources in this game, only so much energy and silver. You're gonna have a tough time if you spread yourself too thin, okay? So let's start out. None of the banner lords. I used to love Dagger. I used to, you know what, if you're looking for good level 50 rares, I had a video with Darth Microtransaction about 2 months ago. I will link that for you guys in the show notes below. We go over a bunch of rares that are worth building to level 50, especially for faction wars, help in those areas, right? However, beyond that, none of them, none of them. Dagger, I'm not gonna spend at this point in the game, just as an example. I think she's a great champion. She's very, very squishy, and that's part of the reason. Rares are difficult to ride into the end game. If you're not end game right now, you're going to be eventually. I'd rather invest in a champion that I'm going to use in the end game, right? So Dagger, I'm not going to use. Granted, avoid affinity, 75% chance of placing a decreased defense. I'm not going to use her. 75%, I want 100% chance. There's enough of them out there now in the game.
Greedy! Greedy? Yes, sir.
And I want one that's a little bit healthier than 12k HP with 793 on the defense. Okay, so none of them here, unfortunately. High elves, yes, definitely, right? There's 2 of them, and it's Apothecary. You know, great heal, great speed ability with turn meter boost, gonna help you out even in the end game. He's very fast at 106 speed. Yeah, of course, Apothecary is still an OG and an amazing champion. I'm not gonna include the 4 starters because they're all worth investing. And final kind of disclaimer here as we go into the second champion is if you're end game, this does not apply to you either, because you're probably maxing out a lot of these champions just for the secret rooms of Doom Tower Hard, which is the most end game content, the most difficult content inside the entire game. So that's excluding you guys, right? The 5 of you watching right now, right? Reliquary Tender, she's amazing. I mean, she has a cleanse, which is so important in the game, becomes more and more important for every boss they add to this freaking game, right? And then she has a revival as well. Reliquary Tender, you guys know, if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, she is one of my favorite champions inside the game. Sacred Order, nobody None of these fools. I'm not investing in any of them. I used to like Draconics. But now, you know, who needs a shield on a 3-turn a mediocre shield at that on a 3-turn cooldown? I'm investing in Draconics, but only for level 50. That's it. That's it. I'm not wasting my time farming a bunch of food for that champion. I'm not doing it. If you guys want to, so be it.
Don't do it. You'll regret it, man. Trust me.
Marked. I took her off the list. I like this champion, don't get me wrong, but that defense is too low. I love this ability, and it's very unique, right? Block debuffs and increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown for a rare champion. She's the only one that has it, right? There's Doom, what's his name? Freaking, what is his name? What is that dude's name?
So me think, why waste time? Say lot word when few word do trick.
There is another increased defense champion, Doomscreech, my bad. But both, especially Marked, I think she's just too squishy to ride into the end game. And, you know, you guys might make the decision that she's worth it. And if you do, yeah, sure, she's great. But you can run this ability, even putting the books into it, at level 50. She doesn't need to be level 60, right? Because she's gonna eventually taper off. No one uses Marked in the end-to-end game. Sure, you can, but, you know, for me, she's not worth it. So for me here, and I love a lot of these champions, but for me, the only one really worth investing in is War Maiden, because you have the Force Affinity Defense Breaker on the 3-turn cooldown, right? So War Maiden, I will still invest in, but that's it, right? Moving along here, we get to Ogren. There's only one, and it's Bellower. Bellower is still a beast in the game. I am still investing in Bellower and AoE on every single ability. He's like the poor man's biggin, right? But also a good campaign farmer option for you guys. Can put him in a stun set. A lot of utility you can get out of Bellower, so he's definitely on my list. Next up is going to be a lizardman. That's right, there is a lizardman who I would invest in, guys, and it's Metal Shaper. Metal Shaper is very unique because he has a 2-turn cooldown shield, AoE shield on all allies. It's applied for 2 turns, it lasts for 2 turns, it's a cooldown for 2 turns. There's only 3 or 4 champions in the game who have that ability, right? Lodric, Valkyrie, Metal Shaper. There could be one I'm missing, but it's a very unique ability to have specifically for the Scarab King. So I would invest in Metal Shaper because he does serve kind of that niche role, and that's what I'm looking from these champions now. I'm looking for them to at least bring something unique to the table, and that's what I feel like they ought to do with these rares, right? Give us some better rares in the game, but just have them serve like one role. Even champions like Gnarlhorn, like Greybeard, I think they're great at level 50, especially for those auras, but I'm not maxing them out because, and again, proof is in the pudding here. I'm putting my money where my mouth is here because I have these champions on my free-to-play. I'm not investing in them. I'm no longer doing it. 2 years ago, of course I was. Now, I'm not doing it, guys. No orcs. I'm not investing in any orcs anymore. Demon Spawn. I'm going for Fellhound, of course. He's still the best campaign farmer in the game, man. Arguably right up there, arguably better than Queen Ava. So yeah, Fellhound is a boss, definitely worth maxing out, right? You might be able to farm without maxing him out, honestly. You know, he's that good. Put him in attack percentage boots, and he might be able to get by at level 50. You guys let me know if you try. I actually don't use, I was lucky enough to pull Queen Ava pretty early on, so I don't use Fellhound as a campaign farmer, so I never maxed him out, but let me know if he can be used at level 50, if any of you guys do. So moving on to the Undead Horde, only one champion. Again, Frozen Banshee. If you're looking for that poison on the A1, poison sensitivity as well. Poison sensitivity, there's still not that many champions in the game who have it, right? So Frozen Banshee, a great option for you guys as a rare champion. She can deal out a ton of damage. Poison sensitivity, here it is on the A3, and the poison big boy version, of big girl version of the poison on the A1. So Frozen Banshee is still worth investing in for Clan Boss specifically. That's it. That's it for Undead Horde, guys. I mean, champions like Banshee can be fun. Again, as Seducer as well. Doomscreech, we already mentioned. He has this ability here. Really nasty ability. But I can't and I won't max him out to 6 stars.
Shut up! Shut up!
So I'm going to stop repeating it, but you guys get the point, right? All right, next up is going to be... this is a fast video. I wasn't lying, guys. This is good. This is fun. All right, I like Painkeeper a lot. I like Judge a lot. I like a lot of these champions. However, I'm only investing in Coldheart here in the Dark Elves. Coldheart still is a legendary champion. I swear, she is a legendary champion. Her I think she's really the only one that I would say has a legendary-esque kit because of this A3 ability here. My other two favorites, for me, the only S-tier rares in the entire game are Apothecary, Cold Heart, and Reliquary Tender. For me personally, bellower right there, kind of, but that's about it. But Cold Heart, yeah, she's definitely worth building. Not one, but two of, three maybe even. She's that good, right? For Fire Knight, for Spider, and for basically everywhere. All right, so Knight's Revenant, Ashwalker, bro, I can't pick you, man. I can't pick you. I mean, it's me. I'm almost contractually obligated to tell you guys, max this dude, max him, he's that good. He's not. He deals some damage, though. If you're looking for an arena nuker, sure, use him. But no, he's not on my list, guys. It's going to be Renegade here because Renegade is really, really solid because of this ability, right? Decrease the cooldown of all allies killed by 2 turns. Basically, a poor man's Prince Kymar. And she's really, really effective on some of the top teams in the game, so she's definitely worth investing in. Also, I have Coffin Smasher on my list, believe it or not, guys. He is worth investing in. You could argue even taking him to level 50 is good enough as well, because he doesn't scale as well as some other champions in terms of HP burners, but he has a decreased attack on the A1, and he has an HP burn on the A2. That's really all you need to know about this champion. Well, I guess, other than decreasing the damage enemies inflict by AoE attacks, nice to have that passive as well. So I do think the Coffin Smasher is an underrated rare champion and a rare champion worth investing in. And I guess the last guy, even in Dwarves, guys, I mean, you could argue there's a bunch of good champions here. Khazar, Deepheart, Dilgal, Avir the Alchmage. There's a bunch, Bulwark. But really, if I pulled any of those champions, I would be sitting here lying to you guys if I said that I would immediately go and max them out on my free-to-play. So I cannot stand by it. I'm trying to be real. Trying to be real with you guys. Odachi, though, he's on the list. He's the last rare that I would max out, only because Shadowkin is going to be a new faction war crypt, and there's not a lot of options out there, and I do think he's a really good support champion. He's defense-based, so he's easy to keep alive compared to a lot of these champions. He has a provoke on the A1, 35% chance, not too bad. On the A2, he has a shield on himself, an AoE attack based on defense, and again, that's a 3-turn cooldown, so he deals some damage for you as well. And then he has block, a debuff for 1 turn, and increased defense on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. It's the weak version of increased defense as opposed to, say, marked. But again, he is defense-based, way easier to keep alive, and I think he'll help a lot of people out in faction wars. Now, in a year from now, I might go back on my word and say, okay, now we have plenty of options, we don't need him anymore, but I did include him on the list because I did want to point out, I think he's the only rare in Shadowkin worth investing to level 60 if you do need that support in faction wars. Guys, that's going to do it. I want to hear from you guys. Who did I snub? Who on this list did you take personal offense to? These videos always get people triggered because I leave a lot of champions that you guys love off, but again here, guys, I'm not here to pander and say that every champion's the best ever. I'm here to give you my real opinion on and save some of you hopefully from wasting your resources, and more importantly, open your mind to the idea that you can invest in rares just by taking them to level 50, and they can serve a lot of utility for you and your teams and your account without having to, you know, farm all that extra resources, use all that extra either money or time, because everything comes down to that in this game. Hopefully just saved you a little bit of time or a little bit of money. Guys, we're gonna end the video there. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and as always, take care, guys.